Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. It's been a while since my last review, so I'm kicking things off again with an absolute banger today. This is of course the Captain Enoch and Night Trooper 2-pack from Star Wars Ahsoka, and I think I share the sentiment of every collector across the world when I say that when these two characters showed up on screen in the show, I thought to myself, these are going to make excellent action figures, and I was right because Hasbro did not disappoint with these two additions to the Black Series 6-inch line. Captain Enoch is perhaps one of the most unique and bizarre character designs that we've seen in Star Wars for quite some time, and the Night Trooper speaks for itself. It's a very, very cool figure, and I can't wait to share these with you in more detail. Before we do that, as always, if you'd like to purchase these figures for yourself, there is a link down below in the video description. That will take you to staractionfigures.co.uk, and at the time of filming this review, this pack is in stock and available to buy. And once again, I can't recommend it enough. So before we dive into these epic figures, let's take a look at the packaging that they come in. So as you can see, the new Black Series style packaging has moved over into the new 2-pack format as well, and what I really love about this packaging is the new coloured backgrounds that we have behind the window where the figures sit. In this instance, you've got a very Ahsoka themed background which looks really, really cool and really helps those figures to stand out on shelf. We still have the colour band around the edge of the box that indicates the media from which the figures are depicted. We also have the Black Series logo at the top there and the character names down the side. As you can see down the spine of the box, gone are the angled edges, but we still have the mural artwork in play, and this is really, really cool. You've got Captain Enoch at the top there and the Night Trooper down below. Very dark, very ominous, very cool looking. On the reverse side, we have those images once again, as well as a brief description of the characters in the set, and again the colour band and the name of the media from which the characters are based. So pretty standard stuff in terms of the packaging, nothing really to write home about, but very, very cool nonetheless. I'm a big fan of this new style box, and yeah, really hope to see many more 2-packs in the Black Series going forward. So we'll kick off our review by taking a look at Captain Enoch first and foremost, as in my opinion he is honestly the main reason for picking up this set. Like I said at the start of the review, he is without a doubt one of the most bizarre, one of the most unique character designs that we've seen in Star Wars for quite some time. I think I share the feeling of all of you when this guy turned around in Ahsoka and we see that gold faceplate for the first time embedded into that Stormtrooper helmet. We all thought, you know what, that's going to make a sick action figure, and lo and behold it does. This guy looks the part, he is really, really well done, and I am absolutely thrilled to have this as part of my Black Series collection. Like I said, he just looks the part, he really ties in to that overall theme and that overall aesthetic of the Ahsoka show, what with the Night Sisters and Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Night Troopers, just that whole undead, rising from the grave aspect. I absolutely love this figure and everything that surrounds it. It just looks incredible. Now, what I really like about Captain Enoch is the fact that Hasbro could have quite easily given us just a slightly retooled, slightly modified and repainted Stormtrooper, but they haven't. What they've done here is given us a brand new figure from the ground up. Everything about this figure is a brand new sculpt. That includes the helmet, the chest armor, the arms, the legs, everything. It's all new, and that is incredible in my opinion. I love it when Hasbro do things the right way. I love it when, don't get me wrong, when they retool figures and they reuse parts that make sense, I'm all for it. But to see something like this just get the brand new sculpt treatment, I love to see it, and Hasbro have done a great job with this figure. Not only are the paint applications impeccable, but the sculpt is bang on. Look at that helmet. This guy looks like he dived off the screen and into our Star Wars collections. And what I really love about this figure is, like I said, being a new sculpt, the cracks from the Night Sister magic that's been used to reforge all this armor, they're not just painted on, they're actually indented into the armor itself, which is genius and looks fantastic, really adds depth and realism to these characters and to these figures, and again, I'm absolutely floored by the execution of this figure. Now in terms of articulation, we'll touch base on that first, and then we'll go through the accessories and some of the finer details. So we do have, of course, as always, a ball joint in the head. There is a ball joint at the base of the neck and at the bottom there, or at the base of the head should I say, and at the bottom of the neck, which allows for really nice free-flowing movement, so you can get this figure in some great poses. The same can be said for the shoulders as well. We have hinges and butterfly joints there, so once again, great posability. He can hold the blaster with two hands if you wish. Get him in some great poses once again. The shoulder plates are actually separately sculpted from the arms, so that doesn't hinder the articulation either. We also have hinges at the elbows and at the wrists, and a nice fluid ball joint at the torso. Now again, the chest armor is a separate overlay, so that doesn't hinder articulation either, but unfortunately the command camer, which Enoch is wearing, doesn't have a split down the side, so the ball jointed hips that the figure has are slightly restricted in terms of movement. As you can see, that's about as far as you can get them. So from the torso up, this figure is really nicely posable, but from the waist down, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty there, which is unfortunate, but not a deal breaker by any means. It still makes this a phenomenal figure. We do have, as I mentioned, ball hinges at the hips. There's also a swivel cut at the upper thigh. Being a modern Black Series figure, we have a ball joint at the knee, and he does of course feature pinless articulation technology there. And we also have a hinge and rocker at the ankle as well. So all in all, fantastic articulation. It would have been nice, like I said, if the camer had the split down the side, just so you could get some extra posability out of the legs. But like I said, it's not a major issue. For the most part, this guy is going to be standing at attention on your shelf, delivering that epic line from Ahsoka, "Die well." I love this guy so much. So mysterious, so cool, so damn bizarre. Look at that helmet, man. So cool. Now, in terms of accessories, he does come with a blaster pistol, which is a brand new sculpt as far as I can tell. I don't think we've seen this design with any other character. And that can fit nicely into the holster that's sculpted to the camer. Once again, the paint applications on this guy, absolutely epic. Nice gold details there on the armor. Nice sculpted textures in the fabric on the camer, on the holster there as well. Epic stuff. Just a fantastic figure all round. We also have, of course, the Imperial Cog emblems painted onto the top of the helmet. And yeah, all round, just an excellent looking figure. Really great addition to the collection, and a really well executed design. So next up we have the Night Trooper, which is a slightly retooled figure, but it's one that's been done in the right way. As I mentioned earlier, the Stormtrooper sculpt that has been used in recent years, I think the one that was first released in 2020 as part of the Mandalorian line, is without a doubt the definitive Stormtrooper figure, and as such it's been reused slightly for this release. I think that makes sense. Some of the armour has been slightly resculpted to reflect the undead look of the Night Troopers in the Ahsoka series, but for the most part, articulation, sculpt, all that sort of stuff is very similar to what we've seen from recent Stormtrooper Black Series figures, and that's fine with me. Now, in terms of articulation, we do have once again a ball joint at the bottom of the head and at the base of the neck, so really nice free-flowing movement there. One thing that should be noted is that this figure, like with recent Stormtrooper figures, does have an unpainted head glued into the helmet, whereas Captain Enoch doesn't. Now, I don't mind that too much, to be fair. The unpainted heads really do work well in terms of nailing that proportion and making these figures look less like toys and more like guys in suits, which is great, but Enoch doesn't have any issues with proportion, so that's absolutely fine. We do have ball hinges and butterfly joints at the shoulders as well, and once again, those shoulder plates have been separately sculpted as not to hinder articulation, and thanks to those ball joints and butterfly joints, you can get this figure in some really cool, really undead poses, and I absolutely love the shelf presence that this figure brings to the collection. It looks fantastic. We also have a ball joint at the torso as well. Once again, a chest armor overlay doesn't hinder articulation in that department. We also have hinges at the hips and swivel cuts at the upper thigh, hinges at the knees, and hinges and rockers at the ankle. So like I said, great articulation across the board with these two figures. And like I said, all those articulation points really do help when posing this figure on the shelf and making him look like the undead zombie trooper he was meant to be. This is one of the coolest figures I think that's ever been released in the Black Series. It's as close as I think we're going to get to an actual Death Trooper in the action figure line. And when I say Death Trooper, I don't mean the ones we first saw in Rogue One. I mean the ones from the novel of the same name, the actual zombie stormtroopers. Like I said, I don't think we're ever going to get that in the action figure line, but this is the nearest thing, and I'll take it. It's absolutely epic. As you can see, in terms of the sculpt, he does feature those red Night Sister wraps. He's got those gold cracks in the armor, once again from the majik that's been used to reforge these corpse troopers. Corpse troopers is a slightly better name, I think. I'm going to coin that. We also have cracks in the back of the armor as well. Once again, these are indented into the armor itself, not repainted, so brand new parts have indeed been used. And the whole figure overall has a much more off-white look to it, as opposed to the really shiny gloss finish that we've seen on previous troopers, and that really helps to add to the overall aesthetic of the figure as well, in my opinion. He also comes with an E11 blaster rifle, which is cast in grey plastic, and it does feature the scope or the light. I always forget what that actually is on the barrel there, but as you can see, no holster to store the blaster, which isn't a major issue for me personally, something that I can overlook. But yeah, really cool figure. Again, that helmet is epic, unlike anything we've ever seen in the Imperial ranks before, with the grey faceplate and again those gold cracks all over the armour. Really cool indeed. So that concludes my review on the Captain Enoch and Night Trooper 2-pack from Star Wars The Black Series. Once again, a set that I am more than happy to have added to the collection. Two characters that I thought would make excellent action figures, and once again, Hasbro haven't let me down. This is a great set, one that I highly recommend, and I really hope that we see more 2-packs of this caliber going forward in the Black Series line. I think Hasbro are nailing it at the moment with figures such as these, the Mandalorian Shriek Hawks. They're doing an excellent job with the Black Series. Long may it continue. I'll be back with some more reviews of the Black Series very soon, so make sure you stay tuned for all of those videos, and until then, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.